मंत्रालय से संबंधित है। आपकी इजाजत से सदन के पटल पर रखता हूं। थैंक यू सर।
आइटम नंबर 3 श्री के.सी. वेणुगोपाल।
Speaker sir, I wish to present the Hindi and English version of the 45th, 46th and 47th report of the Public Accounts Committee as listed against my name in today's list of business at serial number 3.
आइटम नंबर 4 श्री अनुराग सिंह ठाकुर।
धन्यवाद स्पीकर सर। I rise to present the 23rd report, Hindi and English version of the Standing Committee on Coal, Mines and Steel as listed against my name in today's list of business.
आइटम नंबर 5 श्री कीर्ति वर्धन सिंह।
For permission, Honorable Speaker, sir, I rise to lay on the table of the House statement, both in English and Hindi versions, correcting the reply given on 30th March 2026 to the unstarred question number 5978 regarding plantation activities under Green India Mission. Thank you.
आइटम नंबर 6 श्री पंकज चौधरी।
मैं अपने वरिष्ठ सहयोगी श्रीमती निर्मला सीतारमण जी की ओर से निम्नलिखित संकल्प प्रस्तुत करता हूं। वित्त अधिनियम 2002 की धारा 147 के साथ पठित केंद्रीय उत्पाद शुल्क अधिनियम 1944 की धारा 3 ख के अनुसरण में यह सभा दिनांक 11 अप्रैल 2026 की अधिसूचना संख्या 14/2026 केंद्रीय उत्पाद शुल्क संख्या 272 अ 11 अप्रैल 2026 जिसका आशय हाई स्पीड डीजल पर विशेष अतिरिक्त उत्पाद शुल्क दर को बढ़ाकर 24 रुपया प्रति लीटर करने के लिए वित्त अधिनियम 2002 की 8वीं अनुसूची का संशोधन करना है। एक का एतदार अनुमोदन करती है।
प्रश्न ये कि माननीय मंत्री द्वारा प्रस्तुत सांविधिक संकल्प को स्वीकृत किया जाए। जो सदस्य इसके पक्ष में हाँ कहें, जो सदस्य विरोध में ना कहें। मेरे विचार में निर्णय हाँ वालों के पक्ष में सांविधिक संकल्प स्वीकृत हुआ। अच्छा, नो वाले ये बता दो कि तुम्हारा इस बात पर विरोध किस लिए, बता दो। ये संसद है, विरोध बताओ ना, क्यों विरोध है बताइए। नौ देखें, सदन में आप देश की सबसे सर्वोच्च संस्था के संसद सदस्य हैं, इसलिए हाँ ना आपका अधिकार है। लेकिन कई विषय है जिस पे सर्वसम्मत होती है ना। हाँ सुनाओ।
सर ये
एक बात बताऊं, एक मिनट। जब आपको बोलने देता हूं ना, तो हमारे माननीय सांसद जावेद साहब कहते हैं कि आप ओवैसी साहब को बोलने देते हो, हमें आजादी नहीं है। ये आरोप लगाते हैं।
मैंने उनका आरोप सही है, बिल्कुल सही है।
तो चलो फिर आपको आज नहीं बोलने देते हैं। प्रश्न ये है कि माननीय मंत्री जी द्वारा प्रस्तुत आइटम नंबर 7 श्री पंकज चौधरी जी।
मैं अपने वरिष्ठ सहयोगी श्रीमती निर्मला सीतारमण जी की ओर से निम्नलिखित संकल्प प्रस्तुत करता हूं। सीमा शुल्क टैरिफ अधिनियम 1975 की धारा 8 का तथा वित्त अधिनियम 2018 की धारा 111 और 112 के साथ पठित केंद्रीय उत्पाद शुल्क अधिनियम 1944 की धारा 3 ख के अनुसरण में यह सभा दिनांक 11 अप्रैल 2026 की अधिसूचना संख्या 15/2026 केंद्रीय उत्पाद शुल्क 273 अ 11 अप्रैल 2026 जिसका आशय हाई स्पीड डीजल पर सड़क और अवसंरचना उपकर को बढ़ाकर 36 रुपये प्रति लीटर करने के लिए वित्त अधिनियम 2018 की 6ठी अनुसूची का संशोधन करना है का एतदार अनुमोदित करती है।
प्रश्न है कि माननीय मंत्री द्वारा प्रस्तुत सांविधिक संकल्प को स्वीकृत किया जाए। जो सदस्य इसके पक्ष में हाँ कहें, जो सदस्य विरोध में ना कहें। मेरे विचार में निर्णय हाँ वालों के पक्ष में सांविधिक संकल्प स्वीकृत हुआ। क्या वेणुगोपाल जी, ऐसे वेणुगोपाल जी एक बात बता दूं आपको, आज कई सदस्य आपके भी कहते हैं कि वेणुगोपाल जी का नोटिस में नाम हमारा था, आपने वेणुगोपाल जी को कैसे बुला दिया। ये भी कहते हैं। वेणुगोपाल जी बोलता हूँ।
सर आज का आपका मूड अच्छा है।
मैं तो कहता हूँ पूरे देश का मूड ही आज अच्छा होना चाहिए, मैं तो इस मत का हूँ।
सर
देखो
sir, in an extraordinary situation, sir, in an extraordinary situation, an extraordinary gazette notification that
Okay.
came
इसमें
yesterday night
बता दें,
9:55.
बता
Sir. Let us raise the sir, one point, sir. My point, sir. Two issues, sir. Yesterday morning, Honorable Law Minister introduced the constitutional amendment of 2023 Constitutional Bill. This Gazette notification is very clear. SO 90/2022E, in exercise of the power conferred by the subsection 2 of the section 1 of the Constitution, 166th Amendment, Act 2023, the central government hereby appoints the 16th day of April 2026 as the date on which the provision of the said Act. Sir, our question is only one question, sir, but 1 minute. Without notifying, sir, without notifying, how can the minister move an amendment for the court?
आप बोलना चाहते हैं इस पे? चलिए, आइटम नंबर श्रीमती के कनिमोजी, खड़े हो गए। ओके हो गया। श्रीमती के कनिमोजी,
माइक दीजिए उनको।
श्रीमती के कनिमोजी, मैं कर दूंगा उसका, मैं स्पष्टीकरण कर दूंगा। श्रीमती के कनिमोजी को बोलने दो, आप दूसरे सदस्यों मत रोको। श्रीमती के कनिमोजी, श्रीमती के कनिमोजी, आप नहीं बोलना चाहती?
Yes, sir, but sir, the house is not in order. The house is not in order.
श्रीमती के कनिमोजी,
And we're discussing an amendment.
2 minutes.
महिला सांसद को बोलने दो। पहले आप पे बहुत गंभीर है विषय, फिर और नहीं बोलने दोगे तो और मामला गंभीर हो जाएगा। मैंने व्यवस्था दे दी है, श्रीमती कनिमोजी बोलेगी। श्रीमती के कनिमोजी, आगे बुलाएं। आप नहीं बोलना, बोलना शुरू करें। मैं देता हूं इस पे व्यवस्था। अभी मैं व्यवस्था की व्यवस्था करता हूँ, प्लीज बैठे। अभी रेनू जी प्लीज, अभी मैं दे रहा हूँ। अभी हाँ अभी करते हैं प्लीज। अरे आप मत करो डिबेट, माननीय सदस्य प्लीज। मैं अभी करता हूँ व्यवस्था इसकी, प्लीज बैठिए। श्रीमती अभी करते हैं।
What is it?
श्रीमती के
So why are we discussing the amendment?
Yes, thank you, sir. Sir, the colleagues here have raised a very important point. The government has passed the bill, notified it. And what is the point? Last night at nearly at around 10 o'clock. And what is the point in the discussion over here after you've notified it?
Yes.
This is why we want a clarification on that, sir.
Most important.
And I stand before this house not just as a member of parliament, not as a member of the Dravid.
Exactly. How can
Yes.
What is the logic of this bill? Sir, how can we debate it when it's gazetted?
ओवैसी साहब, मैंने हाँ पर रखी ना आपसे, इस पे कर रहा हूँ मैं। अभी कराते हैं, अभी करते हैं, अभी करते हैं, सब करा दें। अभी ओवैसी जी अभी करते हैं, अभी करते हैं, अभी करते हैं प्लीज। कनिमोजी के बाद व्यवस्था देता हूं मैं भी कुछ व्यवस्था कनिमोजी को बोलने दें अभी उनका विषय बोलने दें नो ओबीसी ओके
Sir, it is inside the constitution.
कनिमोजी को बोलने दें
पहले clarification.
गौरव जी अभी करते हैं अभी
Sir, I stand before this House today not just as a member of Parliament or as a representative of the Dravida Munnetra Kazhagam, but as a voice of the 8 crore people of Tamil Nadu who've been told in the midst of our state elections that their votes will count less and their voice in this Parliament will be diminished. And furthermore, it's really shocking that yesterday we are discussing the bill here. You've taken your own time to notify. And yesterday, when we discussed, you've called us here, we are discussing the bill here, and then what is the need and what is the necessity to notify it yesterday? What is the meaning? What is the respect you have for this House? Sir, the government has introduced 3 bills in this special session, called in haste and time to disrupt the ongoing elections in my state and many states. And I raised to oppose these bills on the behalf of my party and my state. Let me start by saying that these 3 bills, disguised as if they are in support of the reservation of women, constitute the single greatest assault on Indian federal structure. Let me begin at the beginning, because this government always counts on the public not knowing the history. The history of the delimitation in India is at its heart the history of a promise made by the Parliament to the people of the southern states, Tamil Nadu, Kerala, Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh and Telangana. 5 states which have resisted the onslaught of the Bharatiya Janata Party and have stood out as role models for inclusive development. The delimitation process began in 1952, soon after the Republic was founded. It was a constitutional solution to a demographic problem. How to balance the population growth with fair representation. All of us abided by the constitutional suggestions in Article 82 and 170. By 1973, when the 3rd Delimitation Commission had completed its work, there was a push for population control also. This national population policy was brought across the country to contain the growing demographic population, and it was exploding actually. So the first freeze on delimitation took place in 1976. This was fixed for a period of 25 years based on the 1971 census. Let us not forget that it was the Congress government, Madam Indira Gandhi's government, that recognized this issue and brought the bill. In the 1976 42nd Amendment, Parliament froze the total number of Lok Sabha seats to 543. This freeze was not a technical detail. It was a constitutional compact, a promise made to every family in India and South India that compliance with objectives of the national policy would not cost them their political voice. Over time, Southern India, Tamil Nadu, Kerala, Karnataka and Andhra had begun to invest in schools, hospitals, women's health. We listened to the union government's repeated call to control our population. We complied. Our fertility rates fell. Our families became smaller. In 2001, understanding that some states, especially southern states and other states like Punjab, had done a better job at these indicators, and some other states had to catch up. That time, there was a government, a union government, which listened to the voices of the people from the south. Yes, I have to give you credit when you deserve it. We are unlike you, always finding fault with us. When there is something to appreciate you, we always appreciate. So under the Vajpayee government, the Parliament extended that freeze through the 84th Amendment until after the first census following 2026. 24 more years of protection, because then the then Parliament, in its collective wisdom, understood that this injustice had to be addressed. Why do we have to increase the seats now to 850? On what basis? The statement of the objective says that there is a change in demographic profile. Yet you are using a 15-year-old 2011 census data to conduct delimitation. You are contradicting yourselves. And 850 seats, most of the MPs, after making the seats 850, might not even get a chance to speak in this parliament for 5 years. Sir, I want to tell this House about a family in Tamil Nadu, a mother and a father, first-generation literates. They had only 2 children, not 5, not 6, because they believed in family planning, because the government told them that was the right thing for the country, because they wanted their children to have a better life. That is the story of Tamil Nadu and the South Indian states. Today, Tamil Nadu's total fertility rate is 1.6, lower than France, lower than Australia, lower than United States, your friends. We have completed what the demographers call a demographic transition. Our population is stable. Our women are educated. By every measure of human development, Tamil Nadu is a success story the country has to be proud of. But what does this government say to that family in Tamil Nadu? It says, sorry, you made a wrong choice. You made a mistake by listening to us. You made a mistake by listening to this, because you cared about this country, because you put the country first. You have to suffer. We are going to reduce your representation. Uttar Pradesh's population has grown by 120% since 1971. Tamil Nadu's only by 15%. And contrary to what the Home Minister said yesterday, Clause 4 of the Delimitation Bill clearly states that the allocations of seats will be on the basis of the latest census figures. The Home Minister says one thing, the bill says another thing. Now, the latest available census is 2011. But again, according to the 2011 formula, UP gains 13 seats. Tamil Nadu loses 11 seats. But the Home Minister yesterday told us that by increasing 50%, Tamil Nadu will gain 39 seats, and which has 39 seats will gain 59. Sir, our ideological leader Periyar taught us, justice is not giving every person the same thing. Justice is giving every person what they need and what they deserve. But unfortunately, your government thinks what it needs and what it deserves is what the whole nation deserves and what the whole nation needs. Other than this, let me state 2 critical legal issues present in the bill. The Constitution Bill says that the delimitation will be based on such census as Parliament may by law determine. This is vague and leaves everything open. This literally means that whichever party has a majority in Parliament gets to decide which census it is used to draw the electoral map of this country. Today, you might choose 2011. Tomorrow, you can choose 31. And day after, it can be 1991. This shows a non-application of mind, or a mind determined to push its own agenda on this country. Second, the Delimitation Commission will be chaired by a retired Supreme Court judge, appointed entirely by the Union government, with no consultation with the Chief Justice of India, no consultation with any state government, and no parliamentary confirmation. As per Clause 4(5) of the Delimitation Bill, the states get so-called associate members, 5 MPs and 5 MLAs, who are not allowed to vote, who are not allowed to sign the Commission's decisions, not allowed to do anything except sit and watch from the wings. The Home Minister said 50% increase across the state. I want to know what happens when the Delimitation Commission does not agree to the Home Minister's suggestion. Are you going to bulldoze the Delimitation Commission also, like what you are usually used to doing? Or will the government then challenge the orders of the Delimitation Commission? Because the Clause 10(2) of the Delimitation Bill 2026 says After the publication of the orders by the Delimitation Commission, these orders cannot be questioned in any court. Where should we go seeking for fair delimitation in such a situation? Where is our guarantee? The Constitution, in Article 368, says that amendments affecting the representation of states in Parliament must be ratified by at least half the state legislatures, not just passed by Parliament, ratified by the states. If this government is so confident that the delimitation bill is fair, why don't you place these bills before the Tamil Nadu legislature, before the Kerala legislature, before the Karnataka, or before any legislature? If the government truly believed in cooperative federalism, the slogan they've used 1,000 times on different stages, why are you running away from the state legislatures? Have you even called for a meeting? Have you even consulted with the chief ministers? Have you even spoken to the states? Have you bothered? The government passed the Women's Reservation Bill in September 2023 with great fanfare. The Prime Minister called it the civilizational commitment. But they put a condition in this very act. Women's reservation would only work after the 2021 census, which is not scheduled to happen till next year. When was the 2021 census supposed to happen? In 2021. But what happened? You said because of COVID, you had to postpone the census. Then you said operational reasons we could not hold the census. And then by simply not talking about it, you did not hold the census. So the largest democracy in the world, the country that invented modern census, could not conduct census in this country. And now that it is politically convenient, they want to use 2011 census to redraw the map of the Indian democracy. They postponed the census and now they are rewarding themselves with the old census. Sir, I really admire. You're the only government which can turn its failure into a political advantage. Look at when this special session has been called in the midst of election of 5 states. And to speak about timing, because timing is everything in politics. And the timing of this bill are so nakedly, breathtakingly political, I'm almost impressed by the audacity of it. The entire opposition asked you to hold this session after the elections. You ignored it. And yesterday you told us that giving women their rights, bringing these bills are of utmost urgency. You cannot even wait for 2 weeks. But you came to government in 2014. The entire opposition has been requesting you to bring the women's reservation bill. All the leaders in the opposition have written to you. Our leader, our Chief Minister, M.K. Stalin, has written to the Prime Minister saying that the bill should be passed. The DMK women being brought had a rally in Delhi asking for the bill to be passed. We've raised this issue thousands of times in Parliament. And for more than a decade, you did not see or understand the urgency. But today, you can't even wait for 2 weeks. And you want to believe us that you care about women's rights. Sir, this is not constitutional reform you're talking about. This is an electoral rescue strategy for in these states because you are not going to do well in most of the states. The Constitution 106th Amendment Act of 2023, the Women's Reservation Act, was welcomed by most of the opposition parties here. And the DMK welcomed it. But we said it then, and we are saying it also now. Tying women's reservation bill to delimitation is a trap. It was designed so that you could never have one without the other. So that the BJP can say, if you oppose delimitation, then you're opposing women's rights. If you oppose the destruction of Tamil Nadu's representation, you are against women. The BJP is using women of India as a human shield for its electoral ambitions. The women of Tamil Nadu, who have the highest literacy rate in India, who have the highest female workforce participation in the country, who have fought and won in panchayats, corporation councils and state assemblies, those women will not allow their cause to be hijacked. They deserve, and the women of this country deserve reservation today in the existing 543 seats without waiting for anything else. And I ask the Honorable Home Minister, why can you not simply amend Article 334A to remove the delimitation precondition? Why can you not give women 1/3 reservation in the existing constituencies through rotation starting from 2029 election without delimitation? If you really care about women's representation, the path is clear and simple. Why do you refuse to take it? Sir, the women of this country have been starved of political power for decades, for centuries. There's a loaf of bread in front of us. We are saying we are starving. Share it with us. But the government is saying, no, you cannot disturb this loaf. We cannot touch it. Wait, we will bake a huge cake and then we'll bring it and then give you a small portion of that.
Yes.
How does it make any sense? And is this your civilizational commitment? The women of this country have been working hard all their lives. They protected their families, they protected this country, they've sacrificed for the nation. And yet, all their hard work goes unrecognized and not respected because you want to tie it with delimitation. Sir, my friends across the aisle will accuse me of creating fear. But the real dangers of this bill are that our Constitution and Article 368 requires 2/3 majority in Parliament to amend it. 2/3. That's not a small number. It was designed to ensure that no single region, no single language group, no single community could change the fundamental rules of India without broad consent from across this great nation. But what happens after this delimitation? Right now, in this House, we have 543 MPs. 2/3 majority is 362. Let us say the seats are increased to a maximum of 850 MPs as per the Home Minister's assurance, 50% increase across the states. Then the total number of seats would be around 816. Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, Haryana, Uttarakhand, Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand, these states together will hold somewhere between 400 to 420 seats in an expanded 816-seat Lok Sabha. 2/3 threshold in an 816-seat House is 544 seats. Add the smaller BJP-aligned states like Gujarat, Himachal, or whatever, and the arithmetic becomes terrifyingly clear. The heartland can approach a constitutional amendment majority without a single vote from Tamil Nadu, Kerala, Karnataka, Punjab, Andhra, Telangana, West Bengal, or the Northeast. So this is your plan. The collective bargaining power of the southern states will be effectively reduced. Their voices are not even required for fundamental changes in the Constitution. This will create an environment where the policies of the union government will be pushed down on the people who believe that this nation should remain a secular democracy. This bill looks like a prelude and a facilitator for your future agendas. And moreover, the southern states will stand to lose out on the president's election as well. Article 55 governs presidential election vote values. Changing population definition here will alter the vote value of each MLA and MP in presidential elections, giving more electoral weight to MLAs from states that gain seats through delimitation. Directly affects the federal balance in the presidential polls. This bill, sir, is ambiguous in the least, misleading, and it has no clarity or purpose. Let us see an illustration through the Tamil Nadu share of seats in Lok Sabha. At present, we have 39 seats. As per these bills, which say 2011 census will be followed, it will become 32 seats, given there is no change to the 543 seats. If the maximum seats are increased to 850, as the Home Minister told us yesterday, Tamil Nadu will gain 48 seats. But if the seats are increased, if the maximum seats are, if the seats are increased to 50% across the states, as Home Minister says, it will get around 59 seats. Now I ask the Home Minister, which of the above scenario will happen? Whether 2011 census or it will be just increased based on 2011 census or what the Home Minister said. These are three different numbers. I would like to know, we like to have a clarity on which will happen. We want, and sir, we have seen in this House, in many debates, many promises have been made, many assurances have been given. And all that has melted into the polluted air of Delhi. Nothing has seen the light of the day. Sir, we request you to bring it into and make it a part of the bill, whatever assurance it is. And data says that this government, nearly 80 to 90% of the assurances given by this government in the floor of the House are never seen through. Tamil Nadu Chief Minister M.K. Stalin has built a joint action committee of democratic parties and state governments to fight this delimitation. We have held all-party meetings in Chennai, we've passed resolutions, we have written to the Prime Minister, we have demanded that Parliament not rush these bills through in a special session called without adequate notice, without standing committee examination, without even the courtesy of consulting the states whose future is being decided. The Prime Minister has not met us. The government has not convened a meeting in the National Development Council. The Interstate Council, which exists exactly for this reason, has not been convened. Instead, they called a special session of Parliament and scheduled these bills for passage in a matter of few days. Sir, this is not cooperative federalism. This is just calculative politics. In S.R. Bommai and versus Union of India 1994, the Supreme Court has stated that states have an independent constitutional existence and they have as important role to play in the political, social, educational and cultural life of the people of the Union. They are neither satellites nor agents of the center. In the Rameshwar Prasad versus Union of India 2006, the Supreme Court held that the basic principles of federalism is that the legislative executive authority is partitioned between the center and the states, not by any law to be made by the center, but by the Constitution itself. That is what the Constitution does. The states under our Constitution are in no way dependent upon the center for their legislative or executive authority. The center and the states are co-equal in this matter. Unfortunately, this government does not recognize the rights of the states. It simply thinks we are here to serve the masters in Delhi according to their diktat. The DMK is not here merely to oppose. We are here to govern, to protect and to propose. The Tamil Nadu and the DMK demand this government should implement the women's third reservation bill immediately in the existing 543-seat Lok Sabha through rotational reservation, de-link it completely from delimitation exercise. Then we can support this bill. The women of India should not be made to wait for a delimitation exercise that serves the BJP's political interests. Withdraw these three bills immediately and refer them to a joint parliamentary committee that includes representation from all states and all parties. Do not rush a 25-year electoral map through a special session in 48 hours. Convene a constitutional conference of all state chief ministers to deliberate on the delimitation framework before any legislation is enacted. India deserves that consultation. And our chief minister, our party president, sir, yesterday has promised the people of Tamil Nadu that not one seat will be lost on his watch. And yesterday, when the DMK floor leader mentioned in Parliament that our leader, MK Stalin, hoisted a black flag, you dismissed it by saying that black flag or blue flag does not matter. You brushed it aside. Yes, sir, you brushed it aside by saying a black flag or a blue flag does not matter. A black flag is a sign of protest. Yes. A sign to say we will stand up and fight and we shall not give up. Yes. And I like to remind you that a blue flag, sir, is the color Dr. Baba Sahib Ambedkar chose for his party flag. It is the same blue color which you dismiss that the man who taught us that we should educate, agitate and organize, the man who wrote the Constitution, chose for his flag this very Constitution you are trying to dilute and we here are trying to protect. And sir, and the Prime Minister yesterday, when he saw us in black, he said that he was reminded of a black dot or tika, yeah, and it is there to drive away evil forces, evil eye or evil forces or whatever. Yeah. Sir, I am surprised that people here who are there to protect Hindutva were not reminded of Kali, the goddess, the dark goddess who wears black. Yes. The feminine power, the woman, the goddess who is supposed to drive away ego, arrogance and ignorance. And the same black color we have chosen to protest is the color of Periyar. Our intellectual leader. He taught us self-respect. He taught us never to bow. He taught us fight till the end. And we will fight till the end. Sir, we oppose these bills in the name of our leaders, Aringer Anna, Kalingar Karunanidhi, who said, states are not a unit of the unitary state, but equal partners of a federation. In the name of our Chief Minister, MK Muthuvel Karunanidhi Stalin, who even in an article today has said that this bill should be withdrawn. A fresh bill should be introduced and placed in public domain at least for 3 months for wider consultation. He says, the moment calls for reflection, not expediency, deliberation, not haste. If the Constitution is to endure as a charter of trust, its amendment must be guided by principle, anchored by fairness, restraint and fidelity to the Republic's enduring integrity. Tamil Nadu போராடும், Tamil Nadu வெல்லும். நன்றி, வணக்கம்.
Dr. Shashi Tharoor.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I must say that we all strongly endorse the very impressive presentation by the Speaker before me, sir, because this is a matter that touches the very soul of our democracy, the representation of half of our population in the hallowed halls of our Parliament. And for decades, the Women's Reservation Bill has been long promised, frequently discussed, perpetually delayed, like waiting for Godot of our political system. Today, we stand at a threshold where there is remarkably a near unanimous political consensus in favor of women's reservation. Every major party in this House recognizes that the time for tokenism is over and the era of equal partnership must begin. And yet I'm finding myself deeply perturbed by the legislative exercise before us. The Prime Minister says the government has brought Nari Shakti, a gift of justice, but he has wrapped it in barbed wire, tethering the implementation of women's reservation to the expansion of Parliament, to numbers from the 2011 census, and an exercise of delimitation. Why, Mr. Speaker, why must we entangle a moral imperative with a demographic minefield? Women's reservation is ready for harvest. खेत की फसल काटने के लिए तैयार है दोस्तों. It can and should be implemented immediately based on our existing parliamentary strength. To link it to delimitation is to hold the aspirations of Indian women hostage to one of the most contentious and complex administrative exercises in our nation's history. Sir, delimitation is not a mere bureaucratic rearranging of maps. It is a profound shift in political power that is intended. Linking women's reservation to it effectively holds the aspirations of Indian women hostage to one of the most contentious political exercises in our history. Such an exercise, sir, carries risks that could strain the very fabric of our federalism, as you heard from the previous speaker. Any delimitation exercise is fraught with complications that could tear at the very fabric of our federalism. We must be candid about what is at stake when constituencies are redrawn based on either current population figures or even the 2011 census. Let's face it, sir, delimitation requires serious discussion. We face a profound demographic divergence. There are at least three major fault lines in our country, sir. First, the balance between small states and big states. Second, the balance between states, particularly in the south like Tamil Nadu or Kerala, which have diligently implemented national goals of population control and invested in inclusive human development, and those states, mainly in the north, who have not. Yet in future delimitations, states that have failed to curb population growth would be rewarded with greater political weight, and we must ask if this is the message we wish to send, that governance excellence leads to political irrelevance. Third factor, sir, the balance between the states that are the engines of our economy, contributing more to the national exchequer than they receive, and those that are net recipients of central funds. A delimitation based purely on population would further marginalize the voices of those states that provide the lion's share of resources that keeps our union afloat. We risk creating a tyranny of the demographic majority, where a handful of large, poor states could theoretically determine the fate of the entire country, leaving smaller states and those with distinct linguistic and cultural identities and economic contributions feeling like bystanders in their own country. Conversely, states with high population growth but lower economic productivity could gain outsized political power without corresponding fiscal responsibility. What happens, sir, to cooperative federalism? You have proposed delimitation with such haste, the same haste that you showed on demonetization. And unfortunately, we all know what damage that did to the country. Delimitation, sir, will turn out to be political demonetization. Don't do it, sir. Now, I want to say the 50% formula that suddenly the Home Minister came and presented to us yesterday regarding the delimitation exercise, promising that no state will lose its current number of seats, total House strength will increase by 50%. This remains a precarious political assurance and not a legislative certainty, because the pledge is fundamentally contradicted by the existing text of the legislation itself, which gives total freedom to the Delimitation Commission appointed by the government, whose decisions cannot be challenged in a court of law. Since this formula, what Shri Amit Shah said, is not codified as an immutable constitutional or legislative safeguard, it could be easily discarded or altered by a simple parliamentary majority, offering no guarantee that it will survive beyond the very short term. Furthermore, expanding the Lok Sabha to an 850-member House would create the legislature that is by far the largest in any democracy in the world, resulting in a body that will be unwieldy and unworkable. This is especially true, sir, in an era where the government has been systematically reducing the duration of parliament sittings. Whereas the first and second Lok Sabhas met for an average of 125 days a year, the 16th and 17th Lok Sabhas saw that figure plummet to just below 60 days, sir. In such a constrained schedule, what will your job be, sir? An 850-member chamber would require at least a doubling of the time currently allotted to question hour, 0 hour for a majority of MPs.
मेरे कार्यकाल में होगा तो सबको मौका दे दूंगा।
Sir, for a majority.
देर रात कल भी इसी महिला संशोधन बिल पर रात को 1:25 तक सभी महिला सदस्यों को मौका दिया, सबको।
देखिए, लेकिन ये भी आपके बारे में भी चिंता है सर। और for a majority of MPs to have any chance of meaningful participation, you'll have to double the time allotted to question hour and 0 hour, failing which a majority of representatives would be effectively silenced, sir. How will you manage to give 850 MPs a chance to speak? As it is with 543, many of us don't get questions.
देखो,
You are saying no whenever we ask for the floor.
शशि थरूर जी, मैं रोकना नहीं चाहता, लेकिन इस सदन में कोई माननीय सदस्य नहीं बोल सकता कि मैं किसी को बोलने का मौका नहीं देता, चाहे शून्यकाल हो चाहे विधेयक हो, जितनी देर बोलने देना चाहता सबको बोलने देता। और अंतिम रात को अंतिम रूप से मैं लास्ट में रहता हूँ कि कोई बाकी रह गया हो तो भी और बुला देता हूँ।
850 होते हैं, 850 होते हैं, आपका हाल क्या होगा मुझे पता नहीं। Anyway, another concern, sir.
नहीं, राजा जी फर्स्ट टाइमर को विशेष रूप से बोलने का मौका देता हूँ। कोई फर्स्ट टाइमर ऐसा नहीं बोल सकता कि मुझे बोलने का मौका नहीं।
Sir, let me continue, sir. Another concern is while the size of the Lok Sabha is being expanded in the government's proposal, there is no corresponding proposal to increase the strength of the Rajya Sabha. Raises a serious structural concern, sir. This alters the relative balance between the two houses. In the event of a joint sitting, the significantly larger Lok Sabha would dominate the voting process, and the imbalance would also extend to the elections of president and vice president, where each MP casts an equal vote. So we are amplifying our own house and our own weight without, unfortunately, giving any heed to our colleagues in the upper house. And you can imagine, if the upper house is the chamber of states, then you can understand the concern of states that their weightage is not being respected, sir. Now, these are all problems, Mr. Speaker, that cannot be solved by a simple calculator. They require a great compromise. A historic settlement is needed in our country that ensures that no region feels diminished. And, sir, even though one of the BJP speakers had criticized me for making some suggestions from international examples, let me say there is no harm in looking to international examples where diverse unions have grappled with this exact tension. In 1787, the American framers, for example, faced a deadlock between large and small states. And so they led to what was called the Connecticut Compromise, where their solution was a bicameral legislature, a House of Representatives based on population, and a Senate where every state, regardless of size, has exactly 2 seats. So you may be a tiny state like Goa or Sikkim, and you might be a gigantic state like UP, would have the same number of seats in the upper house. That's one idea. I'm not saying we should adopt it, but we should discuss it. Another idea, say the European Parliament. They use a system of principle of digressive proportionality, where larger seats do have more seats than smaller ones. So larger states will have more MPs, but smaller states are given more seats than a strict population ratio would justify. So it is true that in Europe, in the European Parliament, a Maltese MP will represent only 80,000 people. A German MP will represent 8 lakh people. But it doesn't matter, they stay united. So we need to consider these options. We are a union of states, sir. And the whole idea is we want to create a formula in a serious delimitation discussion where the smallest members of our country and our polity still have a voice loud enough to be heard. These models teach us that in a complex union, the principle of one person, one vote, one value, which has been cited by the ruling party, must be balanced with the principle of one state, one equal partner, one value in a country like ours. As India approaches a new delimitation exercise, sir, the constitutional question is whether the spirit of cooperative federalism can be preserved through a model that respects demographic reality while preventing structural domination by a few large Hindi-speaking states. Digressive proportionality would not violate constitutional democracy. It would operationalize the Constitution's deeper commitment to the Indian principle of balancing unity with diversity. Sir, सीमांकन से जुड़े मुद्दों पर सभी हितधारकों, सभी राज्य सरकारों, सभी राजनीतिक दलों और नागरिक समाज के साथ व्यापक परामर्श की आवश्यकता है सर। इस प्रक्रिया को जल्दबाजी में नहीं किया जा सकता और ना ही इसे महिलाओं के प्रतिनिधित्व को लागू करने के बहाने के रूप में इस्तेमाल किया जाना चाहिए। सरकार देश के निर्वाचन मानचित्र को पर्याप्त विचार विमर्श और व्यापक परामर्श के बिना क्यों पुनर्निर्धारित करना चाहेगी, ये मुझे समझ में नहीं आ रहा सर। I urge the government, therefore, to decouple these issues. Pass the Women's Reservation Bill today, we will support it. The Prime Minister spoke with passion about Nari Shakti. Let it take effect already in the next general election, using our current seat count. Show the women of India that your commitment is not a mere rhetorical flourish. As for delimitation, sir, let us defer it. Let us constitute a formal mechanism, perhaps a JPC, sir, to debate a new federal settlement that protects the interests of all states. Let us ensure that a march towards a new India does not give us a disunited India. Let us not leave our most successful states behind. Bharatiya ekta ke liye hame kaam karna chahiye, sir. Let us give women their due now. Mahilaon ko nari shakti hi de de, or give our nation, our union of states, the time it needs to solve its demographic challenges with wisdom and not just arithmetic. बस मैं यही कहना चाहता था संक्षिप्त में सर. Thank you very much for listening to me. It's a plea to the government. Please be sensible about the larger interests of the country and not the short-term interests of the ruling party. Jai Hind, sir.
Shri P.V. Mithun Reddy.
Thank you, ma'am. Yesterday we heard the Home Minister speak in the evening. He was saying about, he spoke about a proportionate increase of seats for, based on the existing number of seats what every state has. So we welcome this, but we have concerns. Madam, we have concerns because a mere oral commitment is not enough. I will tell you an example also. On this very floor of the House during the partition of the state, both the Congress and BJP promised us, the then Prime Minister himself promised us special category status for the state. It was an oral promise and it was not kept up. So we demand that it be, whatever commitment was given yesterday evening be incorporated in the bill. Yes. I will tell you a reason also. One of the amendment passed by Sri OICG carries the same content. If that amendment is accepted, the same thing whatever the Honorable Home Minister has promised in the floor of the House will be incorporated into the bill. So we demand that it be put, whatever promise was given may be part of the bill. And a lot of members spoke about regional imbalances. So in a way we are addressing the regional imbalances of the country, but the regional imbalances of the states also should be taken into consideration. Each state has various regions, and after the delimitation process, regional imbalances should not arise in every state. This is a very important aspect. Whatever yardstick you have taken for considering increase of seats in the country should be also applied for the state also. No regional imbalance should be should occur in the states also. And there is one more condition in the delimitation committee which says that 5 members, associate members will be picked up from the parliament and 5 from the state. Madam, we have a doubt. What if the state speaker does not give the opposition parties even 1 member? So fair representation should be there for all the parties, be it the ruling or the opposition. So we demand that this also be incorporated in the bill. So some comfort should be given regarding this. And overall, this delimitation process should be a national building process. It should not be such that it should not be a tool to crush the opposition. And regarding women reservation, our party and our leader has always advocated empowering of women. So we welcome the women reservation bill in any form, any time. Madam, I would like to recall as a Chief Minister what Mr. Y.S. Jagannath Reddy did in our state. He gave 50% reservation for women in all the local bodies. He gave 50% reservation for women in all the nominated works. He also gave maximum importance for women in all the social welfare schemes. He proposed, all the 32 lakh outside patas what we have given in the state were registered in the name of women, and all the social welfare schemes were given through the women. Madam, we demand strict and stringent laws for safeguarding the protection, safeguarding the women's security also. Madam, one of the Teludesam MP spoke yesterday regarding protection for women in the state. So I will also add upon this. Recently, Madam, 4 MLAs were caught videotaped, audio taped in Andhra Pradesh harassing women on the, they made video calls and harassed women. 4 MLAs were caught. This is not just one vague allegation. If you just type harassment by Andhra Pradesh ruling MLAs on women, you will get all the videos, but I have to pass an advisory also. Open it at your own risk. These are filthy and real horrible. But what happened is that the women who complained, who gathered the courage to complain, were harassed and targeted, madam. None of the MLAs, no action was taken. So we demand stringent laws. We demand that, be it anybody, we demand all the MLAs be taken to task. So apart from empowering women, we demand that strict laws be there to protect women also. In principle, we support this bill and we demand the government to consider all our concerns. Thank you very much.
माननीय सदस्य श्री राजीव रंजन जी।
महोदया, आज सदन के सामने एक संविधान संशोधन विधेयक और 2 विधेयक विचार के लिए रखे हुए हैं, जिस पर चर्चा हो रही है। मैं इस प्रधानमंत्री, आदरणीय प्रधानमंत्री जी के इस ऐतिहासिक पहल जो ये 3 विधेयक ला के उन्होंने सदन में किया है, मैं उसके समर्थन में खड़ा हूं और मैं उसका पूर्णतः समर्थन करता हूं। महोदया, आदरणीय प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी का शुरू से, प्रारंभ से,
माननीय सदस्य सभी अपने अपने स्थान पर बैठ जाइए प्लीज। माननीय सदस्यगण प्लीज अपने अपने स्थान पर बैठ जाइए प्लीज। माननीय सदस्य इस तरफ भी प्लीज। माननीय
महोदया,
कंटिन्यू।
महोदया, प्रधानमंत्री जी का शुरू से, प्रारंभ से एक विजन रहा है और वो विजन रहा है सबका साथ, सबका विकास, सबका विश्वास और सबका प्रयास। आज जो ये 3 विधेयक, संविधान संशोधन विधेयक और 2 विधेयक जो सदन में लाए गए हैं, वो उसी दृष्टिकोण को ध्यान में रख के लाया गया है। महोदया, 50% महिलाओं की आबादी है और अगर 50% आबादी के प्रति न्याय नहीं करेंगे प्रधानमंत्री जी, तो उनका ये विजन पूर्ण नहीं होगा। और इसको ध्यान में रखते हुए आज आदरणीय प्रधानमंत्री मोदी जी ने यह लाया है। आज इसलिए लाया है उन्होंने कि जो कानून बनाने में आज पंचायतों में है, पंचायतों में 33% आरक्षण था, कई राज्यों ने 50% आरक्षण किया, मैं उस पर बाद में आऊंगा। लेकिन प्रधानमंत्री जी ने भी कल कहा और सारे गांव में इस बात की चर्चा है कि मैं पंचायतों में तो वर्षों से शासन चला रही हूं। इस देश का कानून बनाने में, राज्य के कानून बनाने में मेरी भागीदारी कब होगी? और इसको ध्यान में रखते हुए प्रधानमंत्री जी ने उन 50% महिलाओं के प्रति न्याय किया है और न्याय करके यह बिल लाने का काम उन्होंने किया। आज आवश्यकता इस बात की है कि उनको कानून बनाने में सहभागिता उनकी सुनिश्चित होनी चाहिए। महोदया, प्रधानमंत्री जी ने संसदीय लोकतंत्र के इतिहास में 2 ऐतिहासिक कदम उठाए। पहला ऐतिहासिक कदम उठाया उन्होंने 2023 में। 2023 में जब उन्होंने नारी शक्ति वंदन अधिनियम लाया तो सबसे पहले उन्होंने अपनी मनसा इस देश के मातृत्व शक्ति के प्रति स्पष्ट कर दी कि मेरी मनसा है कि आप संसद में और विधानसभा में भी आपकी 33% भागीदारी सुनिश्चित हो। ये उन्होंने लागू करने का काम किया। तो दूसरा पहल संसदीय लोकतंत्र के इतिहास में दूसरा पहल आज का पहल है जो प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी ने उसको सरजमीन पर उतारने के लिए, उसको सच्चाई में परिवर्तित करने के लिए यह संविधान संशोधन विधेयक लाने का काम किया है। उनका प्रयास है ये, उनकी सोच है ये कि 2029 में जो लोकसभा का चुनाव हो उसमें 33% महिलाएं इस सदन की सदस्य बने। और आप कल्पना कर सकती हैं महोदया, आप कल्पना कर सकती हैं कि 19वीं लोकसभा का परिदृश्य क्या होगा जब पूरी दुनिया देखेगी कि भारत के संसद में 33% महिलाएं आके बैठी हैं और वो उसकी भागीदार हैं। सरकार के कामकाज में वो भागीदार हैं, सरकार में उनकी सहभागिता है। यह काम ऐतिहासिक करने का काम उन्होंने किया और इसलिए और इसी को ध्यान में रख के उन्होंने परिसीमन आयोग बनाने के लिए भी अधिनियम लाया। अब परिसीमन आयोग का क्या काम है? परिसीमन आयोग का काम है कि देश की आबादी के आधार पर विधानसभाओं में 50% सीट बढ़ा दी जाए। 50% अगर सीट बढ़ जाएगी तो स्वाभाविक तौर पर लोकसभा में भी सीटें बढ़ जाएगी और उसमें 33% महिलाओं को आरक्षण मिलेगा। इसमें कौन सा गुनाह है? इसमें कौन सी है? 2011 का सेंसस हो या 2023 का सेंसस हो, 26 का सेंसस हो, इसमें क्या अंतर पड़ना है? महिलाएं तो महिलाएं हैं, महिला एक समाज है और वो महिलाएं चाहे जिस वर्ग की महिला हो, महिला है। और महिलाओं के साथ न्याय में ये आनाकानी और जो रास्ता खोजने का काम किया जा रहा है, महिला विरोधी होने के लिए जो रास्ता खोजने का काम किया जा रहा है, उसका इस देश की महिलाएं उसका समर्थन कभी नहीं करेंगी। इस देश की महिलाएं, कल प्रधानमंत्री जी ने भी सचेत किया है, आपको बता देंगे, अभी ठहर जाइए थोड़ी ना, अभी अखिलेश जी को बताते हैं। तो इसलिए ये आ रहा है, अब विधानसभाओं में सीटें बढ़ेगी, लोकसभा में भी सीटें बढ़ेगी, तो इसमें क्या दिक्कत है भाई? इसमें कोई दिक्कत नहीं होना चाहिए। लेकिन मैं कल देख रहा था, मैं कल सुन रहा था कि माननीय सदस्य प्रियंका जी अभी किरण रिजिजू जी चले गए, नहीं तो और मेघवाल साहब हैं, किरण रिजिजू जी जा रहे हैं, हम उन्हीं को एक कोट करके उनको वो साबित करना चाहते हैं। उन्होंने कल भाषण दिया, उनका भाषण हम बहुत ध्यान से सुन रहे थे। उन्होंने 3-4 बातों का उल्लेख किया। पहली बात उन्होंने कहा कि जल्दीबाजी में क्यों लाई गई। 50% महिलाओं को आरक्षण देना जल्दीबाजी का कदम नहीं हो सकता है। 50% उनकी आबादी है और 50% उनकी आबादी है तो और उनको कानून में और संसद में, विधानसभाओं में बैठने का हक देने का अगर कोई कानून लाया है प्रधानमंत्री जी ने, तो वो जल्दीबाजी का कानून नहीं है। 2023 में यह नारी शक्ति वंदन अधिनियम पास हुआ और आज 2026 है। 3 साल के बाद उसकी पूरी तैयारी करके और पूरे सोच समझकर यह बात कही गई है। उन्होंने क्या कहा? उन्होंने आगे कहा कांग्रेस पार्टी कभी नहीं होने देगी। अरे हम सबको मालूम है, इस पूरे देश को मालूम है कि किसी भी परिवर्तन को, किसी भी सामाजिक परिवर्तन को आप नहीं लागू होने देना चाहते हैं। आपकी मंशा बहुत साफ है, इसलिए आपने ये बात कही। अब ये बात अगर कांग्रेस का कोई दूसरा सदस्य कहता तो मुझको लगता कि चलिए भाई अनजाने में कह दिया हो, लेकिन कांग्रेस की टॉप लीडरशिप में श्रीमती प्रियंका गांधी जब ये बोल रही है सदन में कि हम इसको कभी नहीं लागू होने देंगे, तो मुझको आश्चर्य हुआ इस बात का कि ये कांग्रेस पार्टी की सोची समझी राजनीति है, ये उनकी रणनीति है कि कोई भी ऐतिहासिक कदम जो इस देश में क्रांति, जो सामाजिक क्रांति लाने वाला कदम है, उसका समर्थन कभी कांग्रेस पार्टी नहीं करेगी। यह उनकी मंशा स्पष्ट करती है। उन्होंने एक बात और कहा, उन्होंने कहा कि सर्वदलीय बैठक नहीं बुलाई गई। अखबारों में खबर छपती रही, अखबारों में खबर सुनते रहे और एक बैग सदन के में बिल लेके आ गए। अर्जुन मेघवाल जी, किरण रिजिजू जी चले गए, माननीय संसदीय कार्य मंत्री माननीय अर्जुन मेघवाल जी यहाँ बैठे हुए हैं, संसदीय कार्य मंत्री वो भी हैं। वो बताएं कि सर्वदलीय बैठक बुलाई गई थी कि नहीं। सर्वदलीय बैठक बुलाई गई थी और कांग्रेस पार्टी का प्रतिनिधि उस बैठक में शामिल नहीं हुआ, बार बार आग्रह करने के बावजूद। आपकी मंशा तो पहले से स्पष्ट थी, आपकी मंशा तो दिख रही थी कि आप कौन सा काम करना चाहते हैं। आप कोई भी सामाजिक क्रांति के कदम को समर्थन नहीं कर सकते हैं। हाँ, ये अलग बात है, मैं पहले भी कहा हूं, आज भी कह रहा हूं कि मोदी जी का चेहरा आपको पसंद नहीं आता है। अरे भाई, अगर मोदी जी का चेहरा आपको पसंद नहीं आता है और इस देश की जनता को पसंद आ रहा है, तो आपको क्या दिक्कत है? देश की जनता के साथ जुड़ जाइए और मोदी जी के चेहरा को न चाहते हुए भी कहिए कि वाह बहुत अच्छा है, तो ये काम तो करिए। उन्होंने क्या कहा? उन्होंने यह भी कहा कि यह संविधान संशोधन अगर पास होगा तो लोकतंत्र समाप्त हो जाएगा। क्या लोकतंत्र की परिभाषा बता रही हैं? अगर 50% आबादी संसद में बैठेगी तो लोकतंत्र कहां से समाप्त हो जाएगा? अरे लोकतंत्र समाप्त करने का प्रयास तो कांग्रेस पार्टी ने एक बार किया था, जो इस देश की जनता ने कांग्रेस पार्टी को उखाड़ के फेंक देने का काम किया, कांग्रेस पार्टी को नस्ताबूद कर देने का काम किया। इस देश के लोकतंत्र की जड़ इतनी मजबूत है कि कोई चाह के भी इस देश के लोकतंत्र को समाप्त नहीं कर सकता है। इस गलतफहमी में नहीं दीजिए। तो सभी उनके जो तर्क थे, कल मैंने सुना बहुत विस्तार से उनका भाषण, थोड़ी मीठी आवाज में बोलती हैं। अभी नहीं हुआ है खत्म मैडम, इतना जल्दी मुड़ी मत हिलाइए, अभी समाप्त बचा हुआ है बहुत कुछ। तो इसलिए कोई तथ्य नहीं है। अब कल प्रधानमंत्री जी का भाषण सुने, आप लोगों ने भी सुना होगा। प्रधानमंत्री जी ने आपको सचेत किया है कि अगर आपने इसका विरोध किया तो बरसों तक इसका खामियाजा आपको भुगतना पड़ेगा। प्रधानमंत्री जी ने आपको सचेत किया है, लेकिन फिर भी आप सचेत नहीं हो रहे हैं तो अलग बात है। मैं उनको एक उदाहरण देके बताना चाहता हूं। पंचायतों में 33% का आरक्षण लागू था। 2005 में बिहार के मुख्यमंत्री नीतीश कुमार जी बने और 2006 में उन्होंने कहा कि 33% हम नहीं मानते हैं। हम इस देश में महिलाओं की आबादी और इस राज्य में महिलाओं की आबादी 50% है। हम 50% पंचायती राज व्यवस्था में नगर निकाय में आरक्षण देंगे। और सिर्फ उन्होंने पंचायतों में और नगर निकाय में आरक्षण नहीं दिया, मुख्यमंत्री नीतीश कुमार जी ने एकल पद जो प्रमुख का पद होता है, जिला परिषद के अध्यक्ष का पद होता है, सरपंच का पद होता है, उस पर भी आरक्षण उन्होंने दिया। लालू प्रसाद जी उसमें विरोध में थे, एनडीए की सरकार थी। लालू प्रसाद जी ने उस नीतीश जी के फॉर्मूले का विरोध किया और आज तक उनको खामियाजा भुगतना पड़ रहा है। आज तक बिहार की जन एनडीए मैंने देखा है, बिहार के एनडीए के साथ वहां की महिलाएं 100% खड़ी होती हैं। आप इस बार के चुनाव का वोट निकाल के देख लीजिए। अखिलेश जी, हम आपको कहेंगे, मेरे मित्र हैं, उनसे सचेत रहिए, उनके चक्कर में मत पड़िए, उनके चक्कर में मत पड़िए, उनके चक्कर में पड़ के वो गायब हो चुके हैं। इस बार के विधानसभा के चुनाव का आप रिजल्ट देखिए, 84 ऐसी सीट है जिसमें पुरुषों से 10% ज्यादा महिलाओं का वोट गिरा है और एनडीए के पक्ष में गिरा है। ऐसा क्यों अन्याय कर रही हैं आप मैडम? अन्याय मत करिए, आप ऐसा अन्याय मत करिए। मेघवाल जी कह रहे हैं कि कुछ उनकी पार्टी का टाइम दे दीजिए इधर। बोलिए मेघवाल जी। अब 2023 से मातृत्व शक्ति इंतजार कर रही। 2023 में जब नारी शक्ति वंदन अधिनियम आया, उस समय से इस देश की मातृत्व शक्ति इंतजार कर रही है कि मुझको कब मौका मिलेगा। और जब प्रधानमंत्री जी ने आज उनको मौका दिया तो आप विरोध में खड़े हो गए। अरे ऐसा क्या है? और आज जो प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी ने इस सदन में जो बिल लाया है उनके नेतृत्व की सरकार ने, वो उसी भावना को जो मातृत्व शक्ति 2023 से इंतजार कर रही है, उसकी उस भावना के अनुरूप, उसकी भावना को संतुष्ट करने के लिए उन्होंने इस संविधान संशोधन विधेयक को लाया है इस सदन में। और इसलिए हम विपक्ष से अपील करेंगे, हठ धर्मिता छोड़ दीजिए, हठ धर्मी मत बनिए, रास्ता मत खोजिए, इधर उधर बाएं दाएं जाने का रास्ता मत खोजिए। अगर आपने विरोध किया तो प्रधानमंत्री जी ने जो कहा है सच कहा है। अगले 20-25 वर्षों तक आपको उसका खामियाजा भुगतना पड़ेगा, जैसे लालू प्रसाद जी 2005 से 2026 तक खामियाजा भुगत रहे हैं। और आप क्या बात करिएगा? कल प्रियंका जी बोल रही थी, आपने क्यों नहीं पास कराया? अरे प्रियंका जी, अटल बिहारी वाजपेयी जी की सरकार ने इस सदन में 4 बार यह प्रयास किया कि महिला आरक्षण विधेयक पारित हो। आप विपक्ष में थे, आपने समर्थन नहीं किया और उसके कारण यह बिल पास नहीं हो पाया। तो इसलिए हम आपसे अपील करेंगे कि आप इस चक्कर में मत पड़िए। अखिलेश जी हमारे मित्र हैं, इस चक्कर में मत पड़िए, उनसे झटका मारिए। और अगर उनके साथ सटे रहिएगा तो बिहार में इनका क्या हाल हुआ है मालूम है ना? 27 से 19 से 6 और उस 6 में भी 3 गो बाहर निकल गया है, अभी 3 गो बचे हैं। तो इसलिए इनका हसरोई होने वाला है। तो इसलिए इन्हीं शब्दों के साथ मैं इस संविधान संशोधन विधेयक का और जो अन्य विधेयक आए हैं, मैं उसका पुरजोर समर्थन करता हूं और प्रधानमंत्री जी को इस बात के लिए धन्यवाद देता हूं, आभार व्यक्त करता हूं कि आपने 50% की आबादी के साथ न्याय करने का काम किया। ये इनको अगर भगवान सुबुद्धि दे, इस वर्ष से हम यही प्रार्थना करते हैं, भगवान इनको सुबुद्धि दीजिए ताकि जो आने वाले दंश हैं वर्षों तक, उससे ये बच सके। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद।
माननीय सदस्य श्री कल्याण बनर्जी जी।
Thank you, the Honorable Chairperson. We are opposing the entire 3 bills, and the reasons which I will speak later on. Madam, our Prime Minister has having a great quality. The quality is, the moment he understands that next election he is going to lose the election, he changed the rules of game. इलेक्शन में हार जाएगा तो चलो, गेम को रूल जो है उसको चेंज कर दो, और चेंज करने के लिए रूल गेम को यही लिया है। इट्स अ पॉलिटिकल गिमिक, नथिंग मोर देन दैट। द प्रेजेंट बिल्स आर अंडर डिस्कशन, आर प्रोडक्ट ऑफ सच थॉट्स। मैडम, द प्लॉय ऑफ रिजर्वेशन ऑफ द वुमेन, व्हाट दे आर सेइंग, वुमेन, दिस इज अ प्लॉय। Original plan is something different. That is delimitation, that is seat adjustment, that is the original plan. थोड़ा सेंटीमेंट लगा दो भाई, थोड़ा सेंटीमेंट ओमन का लगा दो. इस ओमन का सेंटीमेंट लेके हमको तो डिलिमिटेशन पास करना होगा. सीट बढ़ा दो. रिजर्वेशन चाहिए अर्जुन जी, आज ही ले आइए, हम लोग राजी है. अभी जो स्ट्रेंथ है उसमें 50% वुमेन रिजर्वेशन कर दीजिए, कर दीजिए. आज पूरा आप लोग ले आइए. रात 12 बजे तक हम लोग बैठे रहेंगे इधर. उसको लिए डिलिमिटेशन का जरूरत नहीं है, उसके लिए डिलिमिटेशन का जरूरत नहीं है. नाटंकी बंद कीजिए, बहुत नाटंकी हो गया. करना चाहिए, एक दिन में हो जाएगा. 544, 50% वुमेन रिजर्वेशन, वी विल ऑल पास द बिल टुडे. हम लोग सब राजी है, कर दीजिए ना. हिम्मत नहीं है आपको, हिम्मत नहीं है. आप जानते हैं हम आंकड़ा बोलेंगे आपको. आप लोग कचरना नहीं चाहते, आप लोग पार्टी में भी नहीं किया है. आप लोग क्या करेंगे? अरे सुनिए, आपको पार्टी का बात सुनिए. आपको पार्टी का थोड़ा आंकड़ा हम दे देते हैं, उसमें आपको क्लियर हो जाएगा आप लोग कितना कॉन्शियस अबाउट द वुमेन रिजर्वेशन. वुमेन सुन लीजिए, आपको पार्टी में बीजेपी के में लोकसभा में टोटल एमपी है 240, फीमेल कितना है 31, परसेंटेज कितना 12.91%. राज्यसभा में आपको कितना है 106, वुमेन कितना है 18, परसेंटेज क्या है 16.98. अब तो आपको पार्टी में आपको महिला का सम्मान नहीं देते हैं. अब तो आपको पार्टी के महिला को नहीं लेके आते हैं, और इधर आके बड़ा बड़ा बात करते हैं महाशक्ति, आद्या शक्ति, आशक्ति. अरे आद्या शक्ति के पहले पूजा कीजिए उधर. हाँ, और टीएमसी एआईटीसी सुनेंगे, सुन लीजिए. एआईटीसी लोकसभा में 29, फीमेल इज 11, परसेंटेज इज 39.28%. Not a single party in India has given it. राज्यसभा में 39 member, 6 is the female, percentage is 46.15%. We do it. Charity begins at home. Do it. इतना आद्या शक्ति का क्षमता है तो 2027 में 27 में उत्तर प्रदेश में 50% कैंडिडेट करिए वुमेन को, तब ना देखेंगे. So madam, I was reading and I was really surprised. This is our country. Is it our country? Never you did it. I will read the constitutional provisions also. Do you know how many women voting percentage in the country? Women voting percentage in this country is 65.78%. ये सरकार सब चल रहा है ना, जिधर ही जो सरकार है वो वुमेन वोट से चल रहा है. और वुमेन को आप लोग रेस्पेक्ट नहीं किया, डिसरेस्पेक्ट किया. मैडम, आई क्या गलत है? क्या बैठे 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 बैठे. Now if we read the constitution, this is 131 amendment bill. 131 amendment bill. मोदी जी का मानकी टीम बहुत अच्छा है, बहुत अच्छा है. मोदी जी का मानकी टीम है ना. श्री राम का तो हनुमान जी था, और मोदी जी का कपाल में भाग्य में बंदर मिल गया. क्या करेगा सर? मैडम, सीधी we have protested on that day in 2023. Why?
Objection, ma'am.
Why?
Whom are you calling monkey, please?
No, that is you analyze. You analyze. No, kindly see, madam, when this 334A was brought, when 334A was brought, then kindly see, this has been made reservation of seats for women, reservation of seats for women in the House of the People, the Legislative Assembly, etc. That shall come into effect after an exercise of delimitation is undertaken for the purpose after the relevant figures. Why you have done it that time? Why you have said after the delimitation will come? Why you didn't make this reservation policy will be implemented immediately? We have said so. You have not done it. You have made the point after the delimitation. Unfortunate part is 334A, this amendment was brought in 2023 and it has been implemented yesterday in the midnight. And this whole system, I don't know, Parliament Minister, you have tried to this, you are making the entire system of the Parliament into a mockery. The act which has not been given effect to, how there can be an amendment? I don't understand this point. Amendment कब होता है? जिसको लाइफ आता है, उसका बाद तो amendment होता है. अब लाइफ ही नहीं दिया, amendment लेके चला आया. Somebody has advised Mr. Law Minister must be yesterday. Then what are you doing? You have not given effect to. तब रात में नोटिफिकेशन निकल गया. जो रात में नोटिफिकेशन निकल गया, इफेक्ट दे दो भाई. नहीं तो totally faulty procedure you are taking. Now 334, this is the, you could have done it. This is not done. Now next point is, the evil intentions of the present bills have been brought in the House by calling today's House to start the delimitation in a hottest manner. What is the problem? हमारा इलेक्शन चल रहा है, हम लोग को छोड़ के उधर छोड़ के आना पड़ता है. जब गुजरात में इलेक्शन होगा तब तो एक महीना कोई हाउस ही नहीं बैठेगा. जब राजस्थान में इलेक्शन होगा तब एक महीना तो हाउस ही नहीं बैठेगा. हाँ, जब उत्तर प्रदेश में इलेक्शन होगा तो हाउस में नहीं बैठेगा. बंगाल में है, कर दो भाई, सबको ले आओ. तमिलनाडु को ले आओ, वो तो अपोजिशन में है, उनको लोग को ले आओ. This is the hottest manner, and this is totally unfair. This is an attack on the democracy. This is not a level playing field. Unfortunate. Now, madam, I have seen a picture. Picture was widely circulated. Must be everyone has seen it. The Honorable Chief Justice of India, along with his wife, pushing into a button in a app for registration of their names in the census. Census process has then begun. When census process has been begun, until the census process is not finished, how there can be a delimitation? Is it not totally inconsistent? You have introduced it. Unconstitutional. I am coming. This is you have begun. You have begun it. Now in the midst of it, you are saying no. We'll go by the 2011 census. Just I give you some data, madam. You see, first delimitation had taken place in 1953. Census was 1951. Second delimitation had taken place in 1963. Census was 1961. Third delimitation taken place in 1973. Census was 1971. Fourth delimitation, that is in 2002. Census was 2001. Now you are relying upon a census of 2011. You are talking about this. 2011 to 2026, 15 years have gone. You are making a law into a mockery. What right you will give to the peoples of this country? What right you will give? Madam, I don't have any objection, kindly. I don't have any objection. I am giving a suggestion. Accept it. I have 50% reservation on the basis of this. Let it be done. Second, 50% of the ministry should be reserved for the women. And the Prime Minister's seat also be reserved for the women by rotation. अरे मोदी जी तो नहीं आएगा, चिंता क्या है? दे दीजिए women को 50%. And I respect this honorable speaker बिरला जी. मेरा बहुत प्यार का, बहुत रेस्पेक्ट करता है, बहुत अच्छा आदमी है. लेकिन अनफॉर्चुनेटली बीजेपी विल नॉट कम बैक इन पावर इन 2029. स्पीकर पोस्ट को भी रिजर्व कर दीजिए वुमेन के लिए, कर दीजिए. हम लोग राजी है. अरे वो लोग राजी नहीं है, हम लोग राजी है. क्या हम लोग राजी ना? 50% सीट शुड बी रिजर्व, 50% मिनिस्टर should be reserved. Why only Nirmala Sitharaman? Make more cabinet minister for the women. Let us hear, let us see. Madam, see, just give me, madam. Representation should be constitutional, not convenient. It should be constitutional, it should be done. We oppose the linking it with the delimitation. Women's reservation is not bargaining. Today you have brought it for the bargaining purpose, to pass the delimitation. You are making this woman representative woman bill for the bargaining purpose. Why should you accept it? We respect the woman. हम लोग नारी शक्ति के भरोसा करते हैं. मंत्री जी थोड़ा मेरा पास आए जाएंगे. काली जी और दुर्गा जी के लेके रहते हैं. आप तो सिर्फ जय श्री राम लेके रहता है. हम काली जी दुर्गा जी का भक्त है, समझा? हम लोग हैं सब. और श्री राम जी भी किसका पूजा किया? दुर्गा जी का पूजा किया था. ये पैरिटी. हाँ, आप लोग सीता की भी नाम लेते नहीं लेते हैं. अरे राम जी, सीता छोड़ के राम जी कैसे होता है? हम लोग बोलते हैं जय सिया राम, आप लोग बोलते हैं श्री राम. यही तो डिस्टिंक्शन है. हम सीता जी को भी रेस्पेक्ट करते हैं, आप तो उसको भूल ही गए. The parity is stated. Sir, madam, give me some time. TMC has already, madam, we have 2011 we have come into the power in the state of West Bengal. And Mamata Banerjee, Honorable Chief Minister's Mamata Banerjee's first step was 50% reservation in the local bodies. देख लीजिए उधर कितना प्रधान है. We have done it. 50%. अरे बैठे. सीपीएम का सर लड़ने का हिम्मत नहीं था. बैठे. डेमोक्रेसी लिया है इसलिए बात करता है वेस्ट बंगाल. बैठे.
माननीय सदस्य.
Sir, madam, there is no constitutional necessity to increase seats or undertake delimitation to implement women reservation. जरूरत नहीं है. The bill empowers women in text but empowers the executive in structure. Madam, what we say, we support the bill we will support the bill of the women reservation, but not with the delimitation. Reject the attempt to bundle delimitation with representation reforms. Madam, another important question, constitutional question. Question is, you have punched up, including Article 51 of amendment. You have punched up everything. What are the punched up? Madam, just important constitutional question. Minister, I will want to point it out to the ministers. You have punched up, you are amending Article 51 along with this bill. For passing the bills, you need 2/3. You don't have. And for Article 51, you have to go to the hub of the states. How can you do it? This is a political gimmick, nothing more than. You don't have any intention to make reservation for the women.
माननीय सदस्य श्री लाभो
नाटंकी कर रहा है, पूरा नाटंकी कर रहा है प्रधानमंत्री जी ने।
माननीय सदस्य श्री
पूरा
लाभो
ड्रामा चल रहा है। Thank you, madam.
Thank you, ma'am, for allowing me to speak on this important amendments. Ma'am, I represent Telugu Desam Party. On behalf of Telugu Desam Party, I'm standing here. A party which is a regional party from Andhra Pradesh, which has substantial amount of members in this house as well as in Rajya Sabha. On behalf of Telugu Desam Party, I stand here in support of both women reservation. On behalf of Telugu Desam Party, I stand in support of delimitation also. And as just Mahoji has posed, a lot of people are posing a lot of questions to us. Of course, this is democracy. A lot of people will pose and we have to answer. As a regional party, that too coming from South India, the first question is, as you're coming from South India, are you going to support this? Second question is, will TDP support delimitation as well as women's reservation if the seats are 543 or 815? Whether TDP had considered about losing its representation with increase in seats? These are the questions. And fourth question was, why TDP is not asking for 2011 census or latest census? And fifth question is, does delimitation be fair? Wouldn't it be gerrymandering? These are the questions that people are posing it. Members inside the House and media outside are posing this to the Telugu Desam Party, and it's our duty to answer these questions. And it is our duty to put it on record also in this House. Ma'am, Telugu Desam Party is in support of Women's Reservation Bill because we believe in what Ambedkar said. What Ambedkar said was, a constitution is a vehicle of life guided by the spirit of the age. Ma'am, from yesterday onwards, we could see a lot of women coming and sitting in the gallery in the anticipation. Thank you, Dada. Thank you, Dada. So they came in anticipation, inside the house and outside the house, the women sitting with anticipation that their representation will increase in the parliament, in the assembly also. Because until now, the policies are made for them also, even for women, are made mainly by men. And the time has come for women to actually raise their voice, to actually make the policies for themselves. And this is the spirit with which we are supporting this women's reservation, ma'am. And I said, this is the spirit of the age that people are asking for this, that women folk, which has 50% population in this country, is asking for this. So we need to understand why they are mooting for this, and they're fighting for this for so many years. And time has come, under the leadership of Narendra Modi ji, that this important amendments has been brought forward, and we need to support this, ma'am. Ma'am, the other thing we should also accept is the change is constant. It is never, it is never going to be same all throughout. With the times, there will be changes that will happen. Even with our constitution also, there are multiple amendments that are brought in. After almost 77 years, we are discussing about the 131st amendment. Because we believe that Indian democracy is vibrant. Our constitution is a living thing. And Ambedkar also mentioned that. So there are a lot of amendments that are brought in. That is the reason why Indian democracy is thriving. When you compare countries around us, Nepal, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, ma'am, if you see all of them, how many coups have happened in that countries? How many armed revolutions have happened? How many times the constitution itself has collapsed? why it didn't happen in India except for those 3-4 years during the emergency. Why democracy has thrived in India was because we believed change is constant. We believed what Ambedkar ji has mentioned. So this is a time we should respect that, and this is what women folk of India are asking for. This is the change they are looking for. So we need to support this. I'm requesting the opposition parties also, please see through it and support this. And the second question that everyone is asking is, would you support it even if it is 543 seats, or will you support it only if it is 815 seats? Ma'am, let me remind this House, when we talk about women on behalf of Telugu Desam Party, we don't talk about women as a voting issue, but we actually look at it much more deeply. We look at it in a way that we need to empower them socially. We look at it in a way we have to empower them economically. We need to empower them politically also. That is the ethos that our founder, N.T. Ramarao Garu, has believed in. Ma'am, he was a man of different ideas. At that time, all the political leaders expected people to come to them. But he was the leader who could go to the people. He traversed thousands of kilometers in Andhra Pradesh during his first election campaign. He could see what troubles women are going through at the rural areas. So when he came to power, when he became the chief minister in 1983, he came up with very revolutionary ideas. Until then, the property that is belonging to a member in the father is always going to the male in the family. But he has brought in the reform in the Hindu Succession Act in 1986. He made sure 50% of the property belongs to the girl child also. And he also brought in women reservation to 30% in government jobs. On top of that, he has seen what will happen when the government schemes are actually delivered to the women. So what he has done was, when he has to give housing to the poor, he made sure that site is actually registered on the name of the woman in the family rather than male in the family. So he fought for their economic stability, fought for their social mobility, ma'am. So this is what we believed in. This is the ethos that our founder, N.T. Ramarao Garu, believed in, ma'am. Not only that, he saw there's only 25% of the literacy with the women at that time. So he came up with various initiatives, started a lot of schools mainly for the girl children. He also started a women's university in Sri Padmavati University in Tirupati, specifically targeting women so that they can get educated, their literacy can go up, ma'am. This is what N.T. Ramarao Garu has done. And after that, Chandrababu Naidu Garu has followed the suit, and he has taken it to the next level. He has launched Dwakra program, what the SHE program that we talk about, Lakpati Didis that we talk about now. He has launched it in 1999. He has made sure that women are not just depending on the male in the family, but actually economically they can also have ideas, they can also come up with the business ideas, and they can also support the family. That is the idea with which he has launched the Dwakra program. And also he has given 33% reservation for women in local body elections. Ma'am, I have almost 14-15 minutes, ma'am. So, and on top of that, the Deepam LPG cylinder scheme was launched in 1999, mainly for the women folks, so that they can have that economic stability for them, ma'am. Ma'am, this is being continuous. Even now, the main programs that are schemes that have been given to any family in the Andhra Pradesh are targeting the women in Andhra Pradesh, ma'am, with Sri Shakti, Talliku Vandanam, and Deepam 2.0. Ma'am, because we believed in the empowerment of women, this is what from the founder of the party to now the chief minister, this is what they believed in. So if it is 543 seats or 815 seats, Telugu Desam Party is in support of women's reservation in the women's reservation bill. And the third question that everyone is asking is, wouldn't you lose out on representation with increase in the seats? This is the question that everyone is asking, and media people are also playing it in a very different role. Ma'am, yesterday Home Minister has clarified in the House itself that with 50% increase for every state, Andhra Pradesh right now has 4.6% representation in the parliament. With that increasing, the actual representation in the parliament for Andhra Pradesh with regards to the MPs will go by 4.66%. So we won't be losing on that. But I want to remind this House, a lot of opposition parties are asking for 1971 census to be used as a mother data. Ma'am, right now when you're increasing the seats by 50%, on what basis that is being happening? The freeze happened in 1971. On that freeze, the 50% of seats are being increased right now. So whatever opposition is asking for is actually happening, but they're not able to see through. They just want to be, they just want to oppose it, politically oppose it anyhow, but they're not seeing the logic through it. Ma'am, in the DMK has called for the they called for the meeting, and I think various other parties also has attended that, ma'am. On March 25th, 2025, DMK passed a 7-point resolution demanding a 25-year extension of 1971 freeze, effectively asking to keep India's representation tied to that number, ma'am. In this JAC, CPM participated, BRS participated, AAP participated, Congress participated, and TMC participated. They asked for the freeze. Right now, on that freeze only, that 50% is being increased. So I don't know why opposition is not able to accept that. There's nothing new that is being happening on the 1970 population freeze, where 543 seats have been allocated. On top of that, 50% has been increasing, and yesterday Home Minister has clearly clarified. And even then, if you can't accept the truth of what is happening, even then, if you want to give out the fake narrative, false narrative, saying South India's number will go down, South India's representation will go down, I hope and I request the opposition to actually come to senses and actually accept what the delimitation means and support the delimitation process in toto. Ma'am, the fourth question that everyone is asking at, why not 2011 census or the latest census? I'll give you the example of Andhra Pradesh, ma'am. Ma'am, in Andhra Pradesh is a very special example because no one has gone through that. When the last delimitation happened in Andhra Pradesh, what happened was we were, Andhra and Telangana were together. But when the delimitation happened, there were 3 parliament segments that have come up in Telangana and 3 we lost in Andhra Pradesh. But in total, we lost 1 parliament segment to Telangana. Even there were 7 MLA seats that were increased in Telangana region, and Andhra Pradesh was lost 7 assembly seats. Reason being, there's no politics here, but the reason being that population migration happened to Telangana at that time, ma'am. So if you go by that logic of using the latest census of 2026, ma'am, if you've seen the data, Andhra Pradesh fertility rate has been going down for almost one and a half decade. Our migration has been increasing for the last 2 decades. So if you go by the latest census or by the 2011 census also, we'll be losing out. The best deal for us is what Home Minister has proposed yesterday, wherein we are not losing it. Actually, we are increasing by 0.6%. So that is the reason why TDP is supporting this, ma'am. And the last question that everyone is asking is, does delimitation be fair? Wouldn't be gerrymandering. Example, yesterday, even K.C. Venugopalji has spoken about it. Ma'am, I'll give you the example of what happened in Andhra Pradesh when 2009 delimitations happened. Kuppam constituency, which is in Chittoor, our CM's constituency. It is in Chittoor parliamentary constituency. So at that time, Congress, which was in power, did the gerrymandering to make sure that the CM constituency is a target in such a way that no leader can come out of that. But and they reserved the seat to the SC candidate at that time. That is what they have done in 2009. That is the actual gerrymandering. But what happened, ma'am? People saw through it. If you are smart, people are even smarter. From 2009 onwards, in 2009, after doing all this gerrymandering also, TDP has won. In 2014, same seat, even TDP has won. In 2024, again TDP has won that seat, ma'am. In 4 elections, after doing all this exercise, all this gerrymandering, even then 3 times the TDP has won. Even in my district, ma'am. Even in my district. Making sure that, as a senior member was asking, making sure that
a term from Illinois.
Gerrymandering was wherein you bring in all the voters in such a way that you will get advantage for the party in the ruling rather than party in the opposition. That is what the gerrymandering actually is. Even in my district in Guntur, ma'am, they did the same exercise. Tadikonda constituency, where they thought one a cadre or one community was supporting in support of Telugu Desam party, we should corner them, so they made it a reserved seat. Even Pratipadu constituency, they did it, but people saw through it, ma'am.
People want to vote.
People are smarter. They can't be fooled like how opposition is expecting. When the Congress was in power, they tried to fool the people.
Yes, they did.
They tried to fool the people by doing this, because right now they're raising this issue of delimitation because they know what thievery they have done in 2009 delimitation. That's why they think that can happen. Yesterday I've heard what Home Minister has mentioned. Based on that, yesterday Home Minister has mentioned, yesterday Prime Minister has mentioned, promised us, they gave a guarantee in the House. Based on that, we are supporting this bill. We are supporting women's reservation. We are supporting delimitation. Telugu Desam party is supporting women's reservation and delimitation, ma'am. Thank you very much.
माननीय सदस्य श्रीमती डिम्पल यादव जी।
मैं धन्यवाद देना चाहूँगी अध्यक्ष महोदय का, जिन्होंने मुझे इतने महत्वपूर्ण 131वें संविधान संशोधन विधेयक पर बोलने का मौका दिया। सबसे पहली बात जो मैं रखना चाहूँगी, जो सत्ता पक्ष है वो जिस तरह की भूमिका बना रहा है कि विपक्ष लोग आरक्षण के साथ नहीं है, महिलाओं के आरक्षण के साथ नहीं है, जिस तरह की भ्रांति और भ्रम फैलाने का काम कर रही है सत्ता पक्ष के लोग, तो मैं उन लोगों से कहना चाहूँगी कि 2023 में जब नारी शक्ति वंदन अधिनियम बिल पास हुआ था, तो पक्ष और पूरा विपक्ष एक साथ होकर इस बिल को हम लोगों ने पास कराया था और ये सर्व सहमति के साथ पास हुआ था। लेकिन जो ये अब संशोधन लाया जा रहा है, तो आखिरकार सरकार क्या चाहती है? क्या सरकार वाकई में महिलाओं का सशक्तिकरण चाहती है, या इस विधेयक को लाकर, इस संशोधन को लाकर वो खुद के सशक्तिकरण के तरफ काम कर रही है? जब 2023 में विधेयक आया था, तब स्पष्ट रूप से लिखा गया था कि जनगणना होगी, और समाजवादी पार्टी का ये पक्ष था कि जातिगत जनगणना हो। और कल होम मिनिस्टर साहब ने भी ये बात कही है कि जनगणना कराएंगे, अभी वो घरों की गिनती कर रहे हैं, पिछले 3 सालों में खाली वो घरों की गिनती कर पाए हैं। तो जनगणना होगी, जातिगत जनगणना होगी, उसके बाद परिसीमन होगा और आरक्षण लागू होगा। तो सभी लोग इस बात से सहमत थे। लेकिन 2024 में जब भारतीय जनता पार्टी की सरकार आई और पूर्ण बहुमत की सरकार नहीं पा पाई, सहयोगों के साथ लाई गई ये सरकार, तो जब ये सरकार आई तो 2024 में ही आपने जनगणना क्यों नहीं शुरू कराई? हमारा सवाल ये है। आपने लगभग 2.5 साल निकाल दिए, आपने जनगणना नहीं कराई, क्योंकि अगर जनगणना हो जाती तो आज हम परिसीमन की स्टेज में होते और आरक्षण 2029 तक लागू हो जाता। लेकिन आपकी मंशा ही नहीं थी कि 2029 पे महिलाएं आए और इस सदन में बैठे। अब अचानक ये जल्दबाजी क्यों दिखा रही है? 2026 में जहां अप्रैल का महीना चल रहा है, तो लगातार जल्दबाजी क्यों दिखा रही है? सवाल इस बात पे भी होना चाहिए। तो ये सरकार जल्दबाजी, जो हम समाजवादी पार्टी का मानना है, वह इसीलिए दिखा रही है क्योंकि ये जो डिलिमिटेशन है, जो ये पूरी एक्सरसाइज है, ये सरकार एक हथियार के रूप में प्रयोग करना चाहती है खुद को सशक्त करने के लिए। हमने देखा कि कल गोगो हमारे सांसद कांग्रेस के, उन्होंने कहा कि किस तरह आसाम में डिलिमिटेशन कमीशन का प्रयोग ना होकर किस तरह वहाँ पे चुनाव आयोग जाके परिसीमन कर रहा है, और जिस तरह से पूरी प्रक्रिया को अंजाम दिया, और जो सेंसस यूज हुए उसमें वो 2011 के इस्तेमाल हुए। तो कहीं ना कहीं ये बहुत बड़ा प्रश्न चिन्ह उठाता है सरकार पे कि सरकार आखिरकार संविधान में संशोधन क्यों ला रही है, ये संविधान को क्यों बदलना चाहती है, ये क्यों चाहती है कि हमारा संविधान कमजोर हो और सरकार हमेशा सत्ता में बनी रहे। हमारे संस्थापक आदरणीय श्रद्धेय नेताजी ने जब उत्तर प्रदेश में पहली बार महिला आरक्षण लागू किया पंचायती राज में, तब जहां SC/ST महिलाओं को आरक्षण मिला, वही हमारी OBC महिलाओं को भी आरक्षण मिला और हमारी जनरल कैटेगरी की महिलाओं को भी आरक्षण मिला। अब समाजवादी पार्टी चाहती है कि इस आरक्षण में हमारी अल्पसंख्यक महिलाओं को भी आरक्षण मिले। आप क्यों आधी आबादी में बंटवारा करना चाहते हैं? आप क्यों नहीं चाहते हैं कि महिलाएं आगे बढ़े, हर वर्ग की, हर समाज की, हर धर्म की महिलाएं आगे बढ़े? आज हमारी यह मांग है कि आप OBC महिलाओं को भी आरक्षण दें और हमारी अल्पसंख्यक महिलाओं को भी आरक्षण दें। अल्पसंख्यक महिलाओं से तो किसी तरह का द्वेष, किसी तरह की चिढ़ है सामने बैठे हुए लोगों को, लेकिन मुझे पूरा भरोसा है कि जो हमारे यूपी के सांसद हैं भारतीय जनता पार्टी के, वो OBC महिलाओं के लिए मना नहीं करेंगे। तो वाकई में अगर आपको संशोधन लाना था, अगर आपको कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल अमेंडमेंट करना था, तो आप इस बात का अमेंडमेंट करते कि आप OBC महिलाओं को आरक्षण देने का काम करेंगे। आज जब आप अल्पमत में दिखाई दे रहे हैं, क्योंकि आप जानते हैं कि आपका जो वोट है वो खिसकता जा रहा है कहीं ना कहीं, तो आप इस तरह का भ्रम फैलाने के लिए ये संशोधन बिल लेकर आए हैं, क्योंकि आपका केवल एक ही लक्ष्य है कि जो डेटा, जो कास्ट सेंसस का डेटा, जो जातिगत जनगणना का जो डेटा आएगा, जिससे सबकी भागीदारी सुनिश्चित होगी, निश्चित होगी, आप इससे भागना चाह रहे हैं और आप डिलिमिटेशन की प्रक्रिया से इसीलिए सेंसस को हटाना चाहते हैं, या 20 या 25 साल के सेंसस का आप प्रयोग करना चाहते हैं। आप कहते हैं आप महिलाओं की हितैषी है, आप महिलाओं के बारे में सोचते हैं, लेकिन आज जब मैं यहाँ खड़ी हुई हूँ और जब पिछले कुछ दिनों पहले जब संसद चला और जब कैफ बिल आया, सेंट्रल आर्म फोर्सेस पुलिस फोर्स बिल आया, तब आपने जो शहीद हुए, जिन्होंने हमारे देश के लिए बलिदान दिया, जिन्होंने हमारे देश के लिए जो शहीद हुए हैं, आपने उनको शहीद तक का दर्जा नहीं दिया। आपने उन शहीदों की महिलाओं के बारे में, उनके बच्चों के बारे में नहीं सोचा। आज जब ये आप विधेयक लेके आ रहे हैं, तो हमारी मांग है कि उन महिलाओं के सम्मान के लिए आप उन शहीद जनों को, शहीद जवानों को शहीद का दर्जा दें और साथ में आप उन्हें पेंशन देने का भी कार्य करें। अब जब महिलाओं की बात हो रही है, तो आंगनवाड़ियों को क्यों छोड़ रहे हैं आप आंगनवाड़ियों को भी, जो इतने साल से संघर्ष कर रही है, जो गांव-गांव में संघर्ष कर रही है, आप उनको भी उनका मानदेय बढ़ाने का कार्य करें। जहां आप वाकई में चाहते हैं अगर महिलाएं सशक्त बने, तो आप उनकी शिक्षा में ध्यान दीजिए। अध्यक्ष महोदय, यूपी में तो गांव-गांव में स्कूल बंद किए जा रहे हैं, प्राइमरी स्कूल्स को बंद किया जा रहा है बिना कुछ सोचे, बिना कुछ समझे। और स्वास्थ्य के जो हालात हैं और जो पोषण की जो व्यवस्था है उत्तर प्रदेश में, मैं समझती हूँ पूरी तरह से उत्तर प्रदेश की व्यवस्था ध्वस्त है। और सुरक्षा और महिलाओं के सम्मान की तो बात क्या ही करी जाए। हमने देखा है जिस तरह हाथरस कांड हुआ, जिस तरह भारतीय जनता पार्टी के जो MLA सेगर जी का जो पूरा कांड हुआ, और लगातार जो उत्तराखंड में कांड हुआ, जब हमारे सांसद ने एक कविता कह दी, तब तो विपक्ष दल की सब सांसदें खड़ी हो गई, उनका विरोध करने लगी, भरपूर तरीके से इन लोगों ने विरोध किया। लेकिन जब मणिपुर की घटना हुई, तो कोई भी भारतीय जनता पार्टी के महिला सांसद खड़ी नहीं हुए। जब उत्तराखंड में 19 साल की लड़की को मार दिया गया, अंकिता भंडारी को, तब